morning, northern Minnesota. It's late fall, heck, it's almost winter. It's November in Minnesota, and we're still chasing around those smallmouth bass. And we're doing it, we're throwing the metal. We got to slow down. You know, the water temps dropped into the 50s and into the 40s, and that's when we turn to metal baits, blade baits like this. This is the Biovex Padas, and this is one of my absolute favorite ways to catch bass. Blade baits are so unique. They vibrate in the water. They're known for catching big bass. They're known for catching lethargic bass. And it's an old technique, a technique that's been around that my grandpa probably threw, and we're still using it here today. But definitely an awesome technique. Late fall, fish are really starting to stack up. They're putting their feed bag on, and they're eating the Biovex Padas. Check it out. You know, when I'm working this blade bait right here, there's a couple different ways you can do it. You know, you can cast them and reel them. One thing I like about it this time of year is I can do two things. I can make that long cast, and pull those fish off at certain waypoints, certain spots, or I can actually drop it down on fish that I see that come across my Lowrance. And you know, sometimes I treat it more like a Carolina rig almost. I'm just barely dragging it across the rocks, just like that. I think it's a little guy. It's a bass. I don't think that's a walleye. It's definitely a bass. Oh, he's barely hooked. Get some more hooks into that fish. Just like that. Nice fish. You know, that was the same deal right there too. All we did is just took the bait and just barely dragged it. You know, this morning I started with more of a hopping technique that has been working, but the water was just inside the 50s. Now back down in the 40s. Looks like I might need to slow it down and do a little dragging. Let him go. That's a big one. That's a big one. Be a bass. Big bass. Oh boy, big one. Big one, big one. Oh. That's all we do on the blade bait. Beautiful bass. Beautiful bass. My setup's pretty important in this situation. I'm using a Daiwa Steez AGS 7-foot medium action rod. This is a high-end rod. I use it a lot throughout smallie fishing. I really do like this rod, but there's a lot of them under the Daiwa. I use a Zillion quite a bit. I really like the Tatula in this size. A lot of different options at different price points for people out there. And my reel, one that I really love, this is the Daiwa Levaeus 3012. This is the Japanese spool, wide reel, picks up line real quick. My line twist is not an issue. Running an FG knot here. I'm using 12-pound fluorocarbon. You know, we got a bunch of zebra mussels out here and stuff, and I don't want to break off all the time and risk I'd be retying all day long. But 12 doesn't seem to matter. I'm throwing a 3/8 ounce Padas, so it's going up and down. If not the 3/8, the half, and both of them are awesome. They get to the bottom quick, and I can really get away with using this 12-pound test. So setup's perfect. It's ideal for me. This Levaeus is awesome. When I load up on a fish, I can already hear the drag click, 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 and I know that fish is there, and I just lean right into it. Awesome setup. Perfect for what I'm doing. That ain't a wall, that's a bass. Big bass. That's another one, you know. That was a prime example right there, you know. That one was hooked outside the mouth, and that's just so common with this bait. You know, these fish are sitting there, they're lethargic, and that bait's just basically sitting in one spot, very slowly moving, and all of a sudden just flutters. You know, they take a swipe at it, and they don't always get it in their mouth. Sometimes they get it outside the mouth. Great bait. Another port reason to have that nice limber rod to be able to land that fish and get it all the way to the boat. Huh. Looks like I ain't the only fisherman on this reef. There you got it. The loon, our state bird, got himself a smallmouth. You know, I've seen this before too. That's pretty crazy. He's gonna work that one for a while too, because that's a good sized one. I better get to work. He ain't the only one who wants to catch these fish on this reef. You know, this is perfect. This is ideally what I'm looking for right here. I'm just idling around using my Navionics mapping to find fish, and you can see right here, you know, I'm looking for the right ideal habitat. The mapping will show me where to go look, where the rock piles that the glaciers left over, but you can see the fish. We're getting these rocky areas, these little undulations. This is perfect. It's a little on the shallow side, but they seem to be stacked in here today on this nice calm day. I think it's a walleye. Big bass, big bass. Stay down. Stay down. Come. Awesome, man. Just a fat one. Man, them trebles get them and keep them. A little mod I make. When I'm fishing these open water areas, I can get away with trebles. There's not a whole lot down there, but rocks. Awesome fish. Good stuff. Let them go. See you, girl. Look at that toad, dude. That thing's huge. Look at that fish, man. Yeah.